so we're just gonna go ahead and get started right away. How did you hear about Perfect Eats position?
I saw the position over on your website.
Okay.
You guys had a really cool and fun website, and I was really intrigued by it. So yeah.
Are you a Portland native?
I'm from Salem, but I've been living here for like 4 years, so.
So you're definitely familiar with the area.
Yeah. I'd like to call myself almost a native.
So tell me how your education prepares you for this job.
Well, I'm an organizational communication major at the University of Portland. So basically what that means is, people are kind of confused by the long name sometimes, but basically we study like organizations and how to communicate within them, how to communicate kind of like for them. So like PR is definitely one of the main tracks, and that's the one I've kind of been focusing on while I've been in school. So I've learned a lot about like how to communicate for a company, advocate for them, like communication theories that could be beneficial for that, and things like that. Yeah.
Why did you choose comm?
Well, I mean, I like to hear my own voice, so just kidding. Yeah, no, I am just a big people person, and when I was kind of trying to decide on a major, that was the most important to me. The most important thing to me in like a job or career path was that I get to work with and like for people, and so I like the communication aspect and like the actual science of it as well. I think it's really interesting. So.
That's good. And so are there any other work experience or extra activities that you've had that would contribute to this position?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, well, last year I was in this program called eScholars at the University of Portland, in short for Entrepreneur Scholars. And basically you learn how to build a business venture, and so each student has their own business venture, and they create like a business plan for it, a feasibility study, and then they meet with like leading entrepreneurs in that industry. And so mine was a bakery.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm really like learned a lot about how a business in the food industry works, because I had to put one together. Like, and then I've met with a bunch of people in Portland who own small businesses in the food industry, and then we did a trip to New York and China as well, where I got to meet with people in that industry and talk to them and how their business works and stuff like that. So
perfect.
I'm definitely familiar with the food aspect, yeah. And I have quite a bit of PR experience as well when I was an RA. I did like 26 events last year, roughly. I think I counted last week. And so I had to use a lot of social media to advertise for that, and other forms of media like flyers and posters.
Okay, awesome. So name your favorite Portland eatery and describe how you would promote them to the local community.
Ooh, okay. Oh, that's tough.
For instance, like which parts of the business you would highlight and which tools you would use, like you were saying.
Well, I would pick probably just because I recently found this place. It's called Coffee Time. It's on Northwest 21st, and it's really like this cute little shop, and it's connected on the other side. It's to another business called Melt, and it's like a bar. And then the other side is coffee. It's called Coffee Time, but there's like a door in the middle. And so it's a really diverse kind of business, and it's really cool. And I went in there, and it's open really, really late, and they have Wi-Fi, and they have really interesting flavors as well. Like I'm now obsessed with pistachio lattes because they have them. They have like ice cream and like stuff like that. So I guess we'll pick that one because I just recently found it. And I would definitely kind of promote the like unique kind of aspect of it, and how they pair kind of like, oh, you can come for a coffee in the afternoon and then go to happy hour next door later, because it's owned by the same person.
Right.
And then like kind of just amp up like the creativity aspect of it. Like it's really kind of quirky inside. It kind of feels like kind of like if you were to go hang out in a really nice living room with delicious coffee. So I think I might kind of promote the like comfortable living room where you can do work and have delicious coffee, and then maybe go get a drink a couple hours later. So yeah, and they have good food too. So, and they have like interesting milk options as well. So
Okay. So like, which tools do you use to kind of promote these different flavors and the atmosphere and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I like looked for them on Facebook, and I looked that they have a Facebook page, so I think it would be important to create one of those for them, because their main, like, target audience, I think, is, like, older, teens to, like, mid-20s, I think, or, like, later 20s, so a lot of those people use Facebook, and, like, so if all of their friends start liking something, and they're like, oh, that's interesting, I want to go here. And then I think like Twitter is a really fun and cool way and like to promote new things that you found. I actually like follow like another company that like or this person that's like really into food, and so they'll tweet like, oh, here I am, da, da, da. So
That's cool.
I think Twitter would be cool. And I just recently found this new thing called foodspotting.com that is like the coolest thing ever. It's kind of like Yelp in that you can type in what you want, like say I want like a pistachio latte or something, and so it shows you a map of like, I say I'm in Portland, and pictures of all the things like in different places come up of like what you want, and so when you're somewhere and you like food spot something that it was like really good, then you take a picture of it and then you post it on Food Spotting, and then if someone like wants like a hemp milk latte or something, when they search it, then if I had taken a picture of it at Coffee Time, it would come up on Coffee Time and like a little description of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So I would definitely use that and like promote that probably like on our Facebook, like that we created, like, oh, you should really like join Food Spotting, it's really cool. So yeah.
So there's a food convention at the Portland Convention Center with many different companies in attendance. How do you market our client to stand out among the rest? Your client is Joe's Waffle House.
Joe's? All right. So it's a convention.
A food convention at the convention center.
Well, I think with like a convention kind of thing, it would be one of the most important things is like the visual aspect you have first. In order to like bring people to your table or your booth or whatever you have. And so I would definitely create something that was like a sign, probably that was like eye-catching, kind of unique. And since it's in Portland, I think it's important to kind of have like a sassy factor too, because people here like are attracted to that, I think. And so, yeah, something that was like fun, maybe like a fun like picture and like brighter colors and things like that. So yeah, I think that would be the main thing I would focus on if it was a convention like setting, because that's like people walking around and stuff like that. So.
All right. Okay. So please explain to me this basic one earlier about your use of social media.
Yeah. Well, I have a Facebook and a Twitter,
Okay.
and I'm very aware of how to use them as like marketing tools. And things like that. I did that a lot as an RA, and I'm also the events coordinator for the German Culture Club this year, so I do a lot of advertising that way with those. And yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, and I just recently joined Google+, but I'm a little skeptical about it, but I like to kind of like see what new things are. So yeah, I'm really in like Food Spotting is something that I'm now kind of obsessed with. And like Yelp, I think is a really important tool as well, especially in the food industry. I have a Yelp account and stuff like that. So yeah.
Very well said. How would you use these skills of social media for a company? I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, but.
Well, I think that like just in general, you mean? Well, I think social media is really like important to be on top of in order to like get everybody who's really into it right now. And so I think that like making sure that companies like have a Facebook page and tweeting about them and stuff like that would be really cool for social media. And then also kind of like harnessing these really cool new food social media things that they have out there, like Yelp and like things like that. Like if I go to a Yelp page and if, like there's no pictures of the place that I want to go to, I'm kind of like skeptical because I'm like, no one's gone here enough to have added this, and the company doesn't care enough.
Right.
So yeah, and like promoting at the business too, like, oh, like check in on Yelp, like, you know, those little stickers you see, like, oh, you should check in here. So like things like that, kind of like little reminders, like,
Okay.
tell people we're great.
Okay. So, explain why you would prefer to work either in, what do you prefer, a group setting or independently?
I think I definitely prefer to work in group settings.
Okay.
I mean, I can work independently well, but I think it's really like helpful when you have other people to kind of feed off of, because I mean, I have great ideas sometimes, but like other people can make them better. I think like they'll see something that I didn't, or think of something that I didn't, and so just like contributing to what I could have done alone, I think. So, yeah.
Okay, so along with that, what do you usually contribute in a team setting, and what areas do you tend to take a back seat?
I usually think I contribute a lot of spirit to team settings, and like just kind of a good attitude. Like it's hard to be productive in a team if someone is being negative, or if it's just kind of like a you know, not a very good like vibe, I guess. And so I think that I'm good about contributing like good vibes and getting people like, okay guys, like let's do this and this and this, like getting people excited for what we're working on. And I think that I help kind of like the collaboration process well. Sometimes like with the backseat part, if I do see that like there's a lot of like leaders in the team, like a lot of type A personalities, like I don't have an issue like taking a back seat, because it's like that thing with like too many cooks in the kitchen.
Absolutely.
Like I have no qualms about letting someone else kind of like take the reins and be like, okay, like
Sure. Good, perfect. So one more, I just want to know how you prioritize this following list. Feel free to write on this.
Okay.
It's a list of tasks that may come up in the company. So how do you prioritize this list? And then you can write numbers on the side of it, and we'll talk about that. Okay, so why you chose this one?
Okay. So I put the update Twitter for Randy's Pizza at 5 first, because it sounds very time sensitive. And it's happening like that day at 5. So I think that definitely needed to happen first.
Right.
Then I put a debriefing about last week's food convention, yeah. A second, because I think it was more important to address that as this like second, because it already happened, and you don't want to like get more behind with the company, and make sure you follow up with them and things like that. And so then if I were to like push that back further, then I'd just like be pushing them back further too, I think. So, I think that was like the second most important thing that popped out to me. And then I would go on to promoting Lisa's Crab Shack for next week, for the new dish that they're having, because that was another time-sensitive thing, it sounded like, but it had a little more leeway room. And then I put create press release for the new food card off of Swamp Bar as a fourth thing, because that sounded kind of like general, like, oh, the food card thing's coming sometime. So, and then update contact list is 5, because obviously, I mean, that's something good to do, but it's less important than like updating the Twitter thing for 5 p.m. So,
Perfect. Thank you so much.